Hey, this is your favorite tech channel. After using the 10 for quite some time now, I thought it's time for an extended period review. So let's go ahead and begin. Now, starting off with the build quality, what can I say more about this device? I am a sucker for the metallic build, the way it feels in the hand, and especially this beautiful black color. So I'm totally digging this device. Even the buttons on the side, how tactile and very clicky they are, and the power button with its ridges on the side make sure that you never confuse this with the others. So definitely a big fan of this device. Now, a lot of news and reviews have been concentrating on the back chamfer, which actually looks pretty handsome in real life, especially the way the light bounces off everything. But I don't think people have paid close attention to the front chamfer, which you have to really pay attention to notice it. And I think this is really important because when they are working in conjunction with one another, the front and the back, it enables your fingers to kind of wrap around the device. And this is one of the main reasons why I think this device is such a nice and delightful phone to use on a day-to-day basis, because it's so comfortable. And even using it without a case, thank God I have still yet to drop it. So keeping my fingers crossed over here. Now, my least favorite aspect of the device has got to be its display. I'm not sure what's going on here, but as you can see, it has really bad viewing angles when using the device outside under the sunlight. And this is a completely separate issue from my previous video that I showed you guys, where you are not able to see anything whenever you use a device while wearing polarized sunglasses. Now, I'm not sure how they made their LCD display or the orientation, but this has been something that has been a pain for me on a day-to-day basis. Now, HTC has went ahead and gone away with their boom sound speakers and instead put up a tweeter on the top of the device and a subwoofer on the bottom. So the strategy over here was to make them work in unison together so they can give you that stereo immersive sound. I will say it sounds nice and crisp, but whenever you put the device next to an S7, you're going to notice that S7 is definitely louder. HTC has arranged these speakers in a way so that they can make room for the fingerprint scanner, which after my extended use of this phone, I found no problems here whatsoever, and I love the fact that you don't have to wake up the phone to get it to read your fingerprint. Moving along, we have some gestures such as the double slide to bring up the camera app, and it's pretty intuitive. You have everything over here on the left hand side, but I noticed for myself, even after using it for such a long time, I was unable to kind of remember where these menu items were. But that's just like a little issue that's not really that big of a deal. I do love the fact that HTC includes many different parameters that you can change with the Pro mode in case you want to have more control over your pictures. And one of those things is the ability to shoot JPEG and raw images. So a raw image basically is an image that you take that doesn't compress anything with the software, and it leaves all the data there for you so you can manipulate in the editing phase. What that means is that you're able to kind of get your pictures exactly how you want them to look. So for example, this picture that I took handheld at night in the middle of this bridge came out this way because I'm able to shoot in raw mode. So I'm definitely loving it. And the device does take some really nice pictures. I think we've gotten to such a stage now where, the majority of these pictures that we take on our phones are going to be used to share them on another mobile platform. People will be viewing your pictures on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, Snapchat, whatever you want to call it. Rarely does someone take a picture with a phone or a mobile device and expect to print it large scale. So that being said, I think we've gotten to such a stage, and especially with this device, to where the pictures are going to come out really, really nice shallow depth of field, nice color accuracy, nice focus. So I think you're going to be really, really happy with the camera setup on the HTC 10. Now, where I did notice a drawback was on the front-facing camera, which HTC for the first time of any device manufacturer has gone ahead and included OIS, which to me personally I thought was useless. It's just like one of those marketing gimmicks. But you know, the device takes some really nice pictures when out in the sunlight. The front-facing camera does a good job with all that kind of stuff. But where I did notice the drawback or the negative aspect was whenever it gets a little bit lower light. And as you can see over here, it starts showing up all this graininess and artifacting, and even inside over here with a buddy of mine, if you zoom in over here, you're like, where's his beard? What's going on over here? It's very, very grainy, hard to distinguish. The video comes out really nice. I love the detail, I love the accuracy, everything looks very, very sharp. The colors look amazing, so I'm definitely happy with the video quality over here. And even whenever you bring it indoors, because it has that ultra pixel technology, it's able to suck in a lot more light, so you're able to see better instead of having everything look so gloomy. Now, one thing I want you to notice over here is walking with this camera, as you can see, because it has OIS built in, optical image stabilization. But I want to draw your attention to how soft the image looks. And I'm not sure if this is because of the megapixel count, but everything just doesn't look as sharp as I would imagine it to be, such as the Z5. Now obviously this is going to have a higher megapixel count, but this is just something I wanted to show you guys for full disclosure. So wrapping around this corner over here, I'm going to stop at the same exact point. And as you can see, the text is much more legible than on the HTC. So here they are side by side. HTC is on the top, the Z5 is on the bottom. And another thing I noticed while following this little boy on his, I don't know, Ferrari, whatever you want to call that, look at how shaky it is. For a phone that has optical image stabilization, it really does a poor job compared to other devices such as the Z5, which doesn't have OIS, and it looks buttery smooth as if I am on a dolly. Not sure what's going on there, but wanted to point that out. Last thing I would say is whenever I take videos, sometimes I would notice it goes out of focus for some strange reason by itself every once in a while. Apart from that, slow motion is awesome, especially when you're trying to do some fingerboarding, you know, catch that action. So it's pretty cool over there. All in all, I think it's a solid device. It has some little quirks, but I don't think these should be an issue if you can get like some kind of update for the camera app within the long run. But you know, I've had a great experience with it, and I think a lot of people, especially the vast majority, especially the people who are not very nitpicky about the device, are going to enjoy it and be very, very pleased with it. So yeah, kudos to HTC finally for having a decent camera for once. HTC has gone ahead and redid their software experience, and after using it for a long time, I want to say I've come to love and experience this welcome change. So I myself, I put all my apps on the home screen, and the ones I use less frequently, I keep them in the app drawer. But I love the fact that HTC has given you the option to show and hide them, so you're not cluttered with a plethora of icons in your app drawer. So some people have mentioned that you can uninstall the apps that come default from Google on the HTC 10, and I want to include this here because I wanted to have some proof for you guys that such things as the Photos app, you cannot uninstall it, but you can only uninstall the updates unless you want to root it, and that's a whole different ballgame. And now HTC has included the Boost Plus app, which, as you can see from that article over here, is kind of useless. I mean, it's not really useless, but it's useless in the sense that HTC has, you know, spent a lot of time developing the software when there's a million of them as third-party apps available in the Play Store. So basically all it's aiming to do is to clear your memory, your RAM, kind of speed things up a little bit. And I mean, it's cool to have, but like I said, they could have really, I mean, this is one of those things where you can just download from the Play Store and have better performing apps at that. So I'm not sure what's the direction over here, but I want to show you guys this anyway. The one thing I will say that's very useful about it, as we all know, this is a Quad HD display on this device. So the one thing they included with this Boost Plus app is the ability to downscale your 2K to a full HD whenever you're gaming, so you're not sucking up a lot of that battery. Other things, you're getting 100 gigabytes of free storage whenever you buy this HTC 10, which is pretty cool. And speaking of battery, a lot of talk has been mentioned about it, how it's supposed to be really, really great and everything, but to be honest, I thought it was average. I got consistently about 4.5 hours every single day, and I would imagine you'd get the same thing. Now, the last thing I want to mention, which is my favorite part of the entire experience, is the theming options, the theming engines. So you can pretty much choose whatever you want, different icon set. You can have the background UI colors change to whatever you like. The dialer can change, even the sub menus within the dialer, the backgrounds of your text messaging threads, everything. You can pretty much change the entire look of this device whenever you get sick of it. But not just that, you can pretty much break down, go a step further, and choose whatever you like from each different theme that you find. So for example, if I download one icon set that I like, I can go ahead and just choose the icons from that particular theme and apply it. But you know, what about something else? What if I wanted to choose, okay, well maybe a different weather clock? I can go to a different theme, find the weather clock from that theme that I enjoy most, and go ahead and apply that as well. So in a sense, you can pretty much choose the icons that you want, the font that you want, the weather clock you want, the lock screen, the UI colors, whatever you want, you can mix and match until you find something that you're very happy with. So I want to leave it at that note. This is a very quick review, kind of like a revisiting it after a month or two of using it. It's a solid device. I will say this, a very solid device. Some people will argue if it's worth that or not, but I think it's really, really nice. I think it's worth the money. My only thing that I will say, apart from having the really weird screen, the only thing I will say, and probably one of the reasons why HTC is doing a really hard job trying to sell these, is the fact that I think it came a little bit too late. I really believe the S7 and the LG G5 just took the limelight away from this device, and I think even though it's a great device, I think many people will pass it up because they've already purchased something else. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.